And good evening, everybody. Welcome to Prospects of the Lamb, part of the Baseball Banter broadcast. Okay, we're a little bit behind. We're having some technical difficulties here, but we are all here. I'm Ethan Greenberg, along with Taven McCulley and Nate Bope. Welcome on in, Mike from the UK. Thank you for sticking with us here as we work through these things. But it's all good, and I turn it over to you fellas to get rocking.
Oh boy, it's been a heck of a week. There's some really good baseball to talk about, some really bad technology to talk about, really busy weeks for all of us. But we're doing good. We're doing good. Taven?
Yeah, doing good. Busy week in sports. Busy day today for sports. Obviously, got a Guards win. Had a no hitter in one of the minor leagues. We'll obviously touch on that pretty well. But yeah, been a great time for sports. Got the NBA playoffs. Ethan touched on NHL playoffs. The NFL draft this week. It's a great time to be alive in the world of sports.
It absolutely is. This is such a good time frame. There's basically, I think maybe if you're talking the end of the major league season, or NFL starts, and and then you've got the Major League Baseball at the same time. It goes into the Fall Classic, so on and so forth. But this is a great time if you are a sports fan. There is no shortage of stuff to watch.
Let's see. We had the Guardians win 4 out of their 7 games this week. And we had the Cavs, game 1 of the NBA playoffs. They took that from Toronto. Again, lots of exciting stuff going on in the minor league. So, yeah, just like Ethan said, great time to be a sports fan. Only thing I think we both wish would have happened was the Blue Jackets make the NHL playoffs, but I digress.
Yeah, my team's in the playoffs. I don't know. I'm sorry. No, I
Nah,
mean,
but you're a Canadiens fan.
I am. The Blue
You don't
Jackets
count.
would be a secondary team, and are a secondary team had they been around when I was growing up. But yeah, I could still definitely pull for them if any other time, if they're not playing Montreal or whatever it is. Absolutely pull for them.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, well, I think we just jump right into it. Hey, in addition with our technical issues that went on, our software that we make all the review graphics on decided to not cooperate. Yes, Mike also just saw that the Aviators got their first win, UFL, United Football League. So that's good. Was there for that one, was a lot of fun. So we're going to kind of run through things old school. David, you know how all we did this. So a little bit of old school stuff, but don't worry, the recaps and everything will be available tomorrow on the Instagram, so you can go look at all of those. Let's go ahead and start as usual with Columbus. If you don't know, we start from the top and we work our way down to the bottom. So for Columbus, split with the Iowa Cubs. First series of the year, they were able to take 2 of 3. And here against the Cubs, they go with the split. Some disappointing results in there. You have an 11-10 loss on Thursday. You have a 6-7 loss on Saturday, but able to turn it around and win today. The most important thing from this week, Travis Bazzana got his first home run, but if you were to debut a player of the series, it is none other than Milan Tolentino, and he will be on the graphic come on the Instagram Monday. He went 10 of 20 for 4 home runs, 10 total RBIs, had a double and a triple in there, had a stolen base, and here's his slash line. 500 average, 450 or 545 on base percentage, 1.25 slugging. That's an OPS just shy of 1.8. He was fantastic, and the Clippers were hitting bombs. They were hitting things all over the yard. Pair of home runs for Cody Huff and Cooper Ingle, so the catching duo got involved over the wall. Fairchild, Frias, Dom Nunez, Khalil Watson. The bats were absolutely flying throughout Columbus over these past 6 games. And then you take a look at the pitching there as well. Some good, some bad. You got a good 6 innings out of Trenton Denholm. He gave up a couple, but otherwise was pretty solid. 2 outings for Walters, scoreless. That's what you want to see more out of Andrew Walters as he wants to come back up into the pen. Franco Aleman, 3 games, 2 innings. he's starting to pitch some good baseball. Scoreless 3 innings out of the pen and a couple games from Will Dion. But you had Logan Allen have a rough start. And Pedro Avila, not the best double bump week for him. So you take the up with the down with the pitching. That's kind of been the theme for a lot of the affiliates. But man, those bats were on fire today or on fire this week in Columbus, Taven.
Yeah, I mean, a tale of two halves. It seems like the earlier games, Tuesday, Wednesday, 8-1. Want to say Columbus won by 5 there on Wednesday. I mean, just kind of 2 blowouts. And then you go into the later half of the week, and these are very, very competitive ball games. And it wasn't going to be easy to get these done, but obviously Columbus split against a very good Iowa team. So it was a very fun week to watch for AAA. The bats were out. There's no doubt about it. Like you said, Milan Tolentino leads that team in the hitting department. And I mean, everybody's bats, it seems like, on that team is on fire at the moment. Cooper Ringel, Travis Bazzana obviously gets that home run. So yeah, it's just been really fun. Nolan Jones, another guy who's just been able to produce at the plate down there. Shockingly, he has been up there. So yeah, it's just been really fun to see that. Obviously the pitching side of things, you could tell there's still some work to be done, right? Obviously Jack Leftwich threw one of those games away. Shocker there. But the bullpen, they've been up and down. The starters up and down. Yeah, but ultimately you split against a very good Iowa team in just very competitive ball games this week. Not much to be disappointed about. You'll take 3 any day of the week.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it and you're seeing obviously, I guess you see the highlights. You don't see the lowlights as they come across social media. So you're seeing the good. You're not necessarily seeing all the bad, but certainly a lot of good out there for sure. I think we're going to have a conversation at some juncture as we watch some of these players that are continuing to develop, and we take a look at the big fellas in in Cleveland and such. And yeah, when is Nolan Jones getting promoted to quadruple A, as you guys have deemed it? I think there are definitely some players that are quadruple A type talent there, but certainly I'm looking at the catching position as one where I got issues with the one of the people who's playing in Cleveland, and wouldn't mind seeing somebody take a trip down to Columbus for a little while and see if they can't find their swing consistently. Is kind of my thought there. And certainly, like you said, the Travis Bazzana stuff, we're going to be watching that, because right now with Juan Brito, he started out really hot up in Cleveland, and he is slumping and having he looks lost at the plate. And obviously the Arias injury is going to take him out for a little while. So at some point, what move might they make there? Definitely, as you mentioned, the bullpen and seeing Walters, we need him up in Cleveland for sure. And Espino, if he can keep it up, it would be great to get him up to Cleveland. I don't know where he would fit into things, but certainly we could use some extra help because the bullpen has been a little bit lackluster in Cleveland. So all in all, though, but like you said, there's certainly some really good stuff that happened there this week, and getting the bats going, especially today with a 12-8 win. That's pretty. That's a lot of hits. When we have 12 on 12 runs, 15 hits, that's not too shabby.
Well, when you flip on over to the Akron Rubber Ducks, I want to come back to Columbus because I think there's, again, usually a lot of the stuff will come out of AAA within an organization. But we're also going to circle back to the Ducks today. But let's highlight them right now. Boy, what a series against one of the better mascots in minor league baseball. It's the Binghamton Rumble Ponies. And they took five from, again, not a bad Binghamton team. I think they were a pretty good squad last year.
5 from last year's champs.
Yeah,
League champions.
Right. So only lost that one game on Friday. And look, you pitched 3 different shutouts. Cal Steffen helps with that. Gets a win there on Wednesday, 3-0. On Thursday, Josh Hartle was the starter there. And 5 and a third innings from him, 2-hit scoreless baseball. Bam. He was fantastic. Cal Steffen, by the way, was pitching a no-hitter through his 5 innings. But got or walked 5 batters. So there's the bad with Cal Steffen. But both of those guys look great. But then you fast forward to the weekend where stuff really just started to explode. On Saturday, squeeze bunt game winner from Guy Lipscomb. How about that? It's the most guards ball thing ever. And then Matt Wilkinson started it off, was double bump week for him. So he also pitched and got the win, or I should say helped the team get the win there on Tuesday. He started out a 5-pitcher no-hitter. And Taven, we'll kick it over to you to list off all 5 of those pitchers here in just 1 minute if you want to get time to pull up some graphic. But I mean, man, this pitching staff was on fire this week. Yeah, there's the one bad game Tuesday, and your offense just doesn't do enough on Friday. But if I had to give an MVP, I mean, pick one. You had Cal Steffen, who was throwing a no-hitter. You had Josh Hartle, who threw 5 1/3 of 2-hit baseball. Matt Wilkinson only allowed a single run in 9 1/3 innings in his double mound week. And then offensively, a lot of the bats were fairly cold, but Alfonso Rosario, Wilfredo Antunes, pair of homers for there. Can we give the entire pitching staff a player of the series? Because, man, they were absolutely fantastic. Taven, 5 guys, no-hitter today.
Yeah, obviously, Tugboat goes out there, does Tugboat things. 5 innings pitched, 6 strikeouts, and no walks. I mean, he was absolute perfection from Tugboat today. And then you got
he was pitching a perfect game through 5.
Yep. Jacek comes in after that, only walks a batter, no runs, no hits, obviously. Then it goes to Ellerts, who walked 2 batters, but also struck 2 guys out. Jay Driver comes in there the inning after. All these relievers, only an inning. Gives up a walk, but nothing else. And then Carey finishes things off. 2 walks, a little bit of trouble there at the end, but gets the job done at the end of the day. The no-hitter from 5 guys, Tugboat, Matt Wilkinson, Jacek, Ellerts, Driver, Carey.
Unbelievable.
The only downside you could really see was the amount of walks given up. But other than that, from the relievers, obviously Wilkinson goes, as you said, he was going perfect game there. He had 6 strikeouts, no walks through 5 innings. But then to see your relievers over the next 4 innings issue 6 walks, that's tough. That's tough, but you'll take it. You will take it how you can get it. It's nice to get a no-hitter on a week that we almost had a no-hitter in Cleveland. Yeah, that too. So just, no salt in the wound there or anything.
Ducks made up for it. I don't know if that streak in Cleveland will ever end, by the way, but I also want to give a lot of credit to Jack Josiak because he did not have a good outing on Tuesday. And sometimes you can see these guys pitch 3 games out of the pen in a given series. None did it for the Ducks this week. But Jacek was not good at all in that, albeit 8-7 win on Tuesday. He was actually the winning pitcher, but gave up 3 runs, just wasn't great. Came back and had himself a fantastic performance this time around. So I want to give credit to him. And then a lot of these guys in the pen, Carter Rustad, Magnus Ellerts, Reed Johnson, Jay Driver, Jack Carey, Matt Jacek, or sorry, I'm mixing up last names here. Jack Josiak is who I'm giving credit to, but Matt Jacek pitched 3 innings of scoreless baseball. Fantastic. Hartle and Steffen obviously had the 2 scoreless starts. Wilkinson was perfect through 5 earlier today. I don't know how I'm going to fit all of these guys into the graphic, but I mean, your pitching staff is the winner this week. Some beautifulness. You know what? Let's do this. I know 5 guys threw the no-hitter, and they all deserve credit. They all get it right here. Wilkinson, Hartle, Steffen, all those guys, player of the series, some phenomenal pitching starts. Phenomenal.
Sure. Nate, you can make the font smaller.
I could make the font I could make it 2-point font.
It can become an adventure. You give them some extra work to do to try and see if they can find the names in there. I think that would, It
could be 2-point font. We could play around with that for sure. Once we get off here, I just pulled Canva up and it's finally deciding to work now. So once we get all that squared away, maybe we can do it. But yeah, I mean, just pitching. Big theme here for the Rubber Ducks this week. Taven, final thoughts on the Ducks. We will circle back to them as I pull up the captain stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about a week where the bats necessarily weren't as hot as you'd like them to be and how they normally were. Well, the pitching obviously made up for that in a big way. So you take 5 out of 6 from the defending champs. I mean, that's more than anybody would have asked from you this week. I mean, just an absolute great performance from everybody. The game you dropped, I want to say, was close to. So just a great week. And yeah, I mean, sweeps, you might see one all year for, I mean, any team max. So you're not going to come by many of those. 5 out of 6 is almost as good as you're going to get in the minor leagues.
Well, we'll move on. Again, we'll circle back to both the captains and the Ducks, but we move on now to the Lake County captains. Probably go through this one rather quickly because they've kind of been the epitome of what we've said for a lot of teams. You take the good with the bad. And a rarity, you had 6 different starting pitchers for the captains this week. Jogly Garcia pitched well. Jackson Humphreys pitched well in their starts. And Humphreys, by the way, 5 innings, 10 strikeouts. That was a nice outing for Jackson Humphreys here. But this is the team that split with the Fort Wayne Tin Caps. They just some games where the bats were there, and we'll talk about the offense in a second, and other games where the pitching, yikes, it really struggled. You won on Tuesday. You started the game on Wednesday, and then it got postponed and delayed due to rain, so they made that game up on Friday. But you lose on Thursday, you split on Friday, you finish out the game that you were winning in, and they won. Wright County came back for a day, 16-9 on Saturday, and then, of course, lost 9-6 today. So, again, you take the good with the bad. But player of the series for me is going to come out of the hitting department. And while this guy didn't drive in nearly as many runs as some of his teammates did, you got 6 RBIs from Dean Curley this week. You got 7 from Luke Hill, and a team leading 8 from Nolan Schubart. Jace Laviolette's finally starting to come around to get going as well. But Jason Churio is my player of the series here. Went 9 of 19, came around to score 4 runs, but slugged 2 homers, and his walk-to-strikeout ratio was lower than usual, ended up stealing a base. And the reason you give it to Jason Churio is, look, we obviously know where his brother is and what his brother is doing, but he's a very highly sought-out prospect and finished with the highest OPS on the team besides Aaron Walton, who had himself quite the week there as well. But Churio, you're able to see a little bit of everything. You saw the power, you saw the speed on the base paths, you saw the hit by contact. Really, the only thing you didn't get the chance to see were him driving some more runs. Other than that, fantastic series from, again, you take the good with the bad, some good performances with the bats, still some good pitching performances, but you ultimately end up with the split against Fort Wayne in kind of a wild series.
Yeah, I mean, that word wild really defines a game that I want to touch on, which is that Saturday game where it was 16-9. You look at, obviously 9 runs is not good at all, but you look at Rafe Schlesinger, 2 2/3 innings pitched. He gave up 6 runs, but only 1 of them was earned. Don't see that too often. Had 6 strikeouts. So pitching staff, they only gave up 2 earned runs. So, I mean, he had 4 errors. So obviously that's, where the 9's going to come from. A couple walks, things of that nature. But yeah, the captain's bats were absolutely on fire on Saturday. Jason Churio, your guy, had two hits in leadoff spot. Jace Laviolette, a big 3-hit day, came across the score 3 times. But the guy that I want to touch on in this Saturday series is Aaron Walton. I mean, had an absolute career day. 5 at-bats, went 4 for 5, drove in 4 runs, scored 4 times. So, I mean, he just had one heck of a day, and that game ultimately just showed what this team's capable of when things are really clicking on the offensive side of things. Now, obviously, 9 runs you're going to lose most games that you give up 9 runs. They got to cut down on the errors, clean up a little bit here and there. Obviously, it's still the season's still young, right? There's time to fix all that stuff. But I mean, the pitching looks solid in that game if you eliminate some of the walks and cut down on the errors. So this team at full force is really scary, and that 16 runs against a really solid Fort Wayne team, it's pretty impressive.
Well, like you guys have talked about, and we've seen the way that minor league baseball is set up with your first half, second half, etc. You've got 2 seasons in one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And so you're going to see players develop. And if you don't go out there, maybe it's not in the first half, maybe it's the second half season where you really step things up and things start coming together. You like to see, obviously, some of the progress these players are making. Jace Laviolette, 9-game on base streak. And here we're getting during the 8-game hitting streak for Curly. Mike from the UK just posted up his numbers there. That is pretty impressive, of course. 10 of 31. Let's see, or 10 of 31, 10 runs, 2 doubles, a triple, home run, 6 runs batted in, 8 walks, 2 steals, 323, and an OBP of 475. Not too shabby. So I don't know. I mean, obviously, like you said, you take the good, you take the bad. You're sitting at 7 and 8. It's still early. The weather in Cleveland is not the best. Let's see how it turns, if at all, when the weather starts warming up. As we all, we kind of can't ignore when the weather is crap, how that affects your team.
Guys, I'll allow us to take a vote here because now I'm kind of torn. Who's getting thrown up on the graphic here? Jason Chourio or Aaron Walton?
I'm going to say Walton.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Chourio was nepotism. That was a little nepotism going on there, just because he's got a famous last name.
I don't know how famous Chourio is yet. Hopefully it will be once Jason starts to climb the ranks. All right, Aaron Walton, congrats. We'll put Aaron Walton up on the graphic. Let it be known though, Jason Chourio started to find it this week, and he's turning it up and coming back at it. All right, lastly, we go to the Hillcats Howlers. It still is getting some time to get used to, ladies and gentlemen. But for the Hill City Howlers this week, I don't know why their schedule is not loading. I have it pulled up. Give me 1 second. But from what I remember watching about Hill City this week, I think overall was a pretty nicely played series. Obviously, we'll see the results that they got. It was a split over Wilson. Lost that game on Tuesday, then won Wednesday, won huge Thursday, 14-1. Lost Friday, won Saturday, lost Sunday. So, again, overall, I thought nicely played series from the Howlers. But in that road environment, you do get the series split. How about Robert Arias this week? He's definitely going to be your player of the series. Went 13 of 22, 2 doubles, 2 home runs, 8 RBIs, had 1 walk, stole 4 bases. Here's his slash line, guys. 591, 609 on base percentage, 955 slugging, a 1.5 OPS. Robert Arias was insane, and you've heard me talk about Juniker Caceres there as well. Yep. He finally started to get it going with the bat. 9 of 23, 2 home runs. Taven, is he 18 now, or is he still 17?
Who was that again?
Juniker Caceres.
Look at that, Dowry Fernandez, 13-game on base streak,
and he had himself a nice series too. 9 of 25.
He just recently turned 18.
Yeah, so there you go. Juniker Caceres tearing things up as an 18-year-old is absurd. Horvik Abreus had himself a nice series in 3 games, slugged a homer over there. A couple Martinez's, I don't believe any relation. Anthony Martinez, Jonathan Martinez, a homer each. Cannon Peebles got a homer over the fence there as well. A lot of it came in that 14-1 win, but you saw the offense pretty consistent. No less than 3 runs in any game here this series. And then when you fire it over to the pitching standpoint of things, I don't believe double bump week for anybody this week. Nope. Again, 6 different starting pitchers, but scoreless 4 innings from Joey Oakey, scoreless 4 innings from Harrison Bodendorf, scoreless 4 innings from Chase Mobley. You also had Zane Petty have a couple nice performances there out of the pen. Got touched around a little bit, but did earn himself a win this week. Jervis Alfaro, not on the mound, but in 1 inning, in 1 game, a 5-inning game that he did pitch. Gave up a run. It was not earned, though, so the ERA stayed flat zeros. He pitched a really good 5 innings. Miguel Flores, same thing for him. Not a lot of guys pitching 2 games, so they used a lot of guys in long-term relief. Yudri Alcantara, same thing. But, again, it's just a couple guys there that got hit around. Wes Burton, not the best 2 games for him. Jacob Zibin had himself not a great start. Aiden Major started, only pitched 3 innings, gave up 2 runs. The ERA is not going to look that great. Okay. Luke Fernandez, not the best outing. So I think the Howlers are really starting to round into form here. But I tell you what, once the pitching staff starts to get more consistent and lock it down, only gave up more than 5 runs. 5 or more runs 3 times. Got to find my phrasing. And they lost all 3 of those games. I think that was one of our magic numbers, Taven, with Lake County last year. It seemed like when they allowed under 5 runs, they were getting that win. So Howlers could very well be similar this year. 5 or more runs, lose all 3 of those games this week. But man, will Taven get back to touch on it? Kick it off with Robert Arias, batting nearly 600. I know it's 1 week in 1 series. That's absurd. He's your player of the series.
Yeah, absolute dog. I mean, all these young guys are stepping up in a big way. Like you mentioned with the pitching staff, at the low A level, it's really tough to get these guys going, especially really early in the season. So, I mean, we're just going to see these guys get better and better. But if the bats can stay consistent, and especially like how they were in that 14-1 win, I mean, obviously we're not expecting them to hit for 14 runs every game. But, I mean, the bats were on fire. And Caceres, I mean, we talk about Arias, but Caceres is an absolute unit at the age of 18. I mean, in that 14-1 win, 3 hits, 4 RBIs. I mean, there's not much more you can ask for, a kid of his age. And it's just impressive to see what he's been able to do. But just everybody on this team just being able to step up. Fernandez to obviously Martinez, like you said, Arias, just all these guys. It's just been fun to see them really starting to find their feel in pro ball. And a lot of these guys, obviously only played a month and a half at the end of last year. Most of them are champions with the then Lynchburg Hillcats. So yeah, it's just going to take some time for these pitchers to get things going. But I mean, the bats, how we've seen this team perform, 9-5, love the start, love to see what this team's doing.
I'll be really curious to see if Dowry Fernandez can develop. Guy is a maniac on the base path. I mean, that is some beautiful stuff to see, the speed out there. I mean, this season, it's not – I thought he would have had more steals. Well, actually, I take that back. So this year, where are we at? So 16 – 8 stolen bases, 3 times caught. So 8 out of 11. But he can really reap havoc out on the base paths, and would love to see a guy like that develop through the system to eventually be somebody you can insert there. I love that kind of speed. It really, really can cause problems.
And to add to that as well, I mean, look, just this week you had 5 stolen bases from Luis De La Cruz. You had 4 from the player of the series and Robert Arias. Overall on the season, we can do some quick math here if we need to, but De La Cruz has 10. Robert Arias has got 7. You talked about Fernandez with 8. A couple guys are peppering some here and there as well. Taven, we had the conversation with Tommy Hawk last year, and I think we had failed to mention all season long, people steal all the time in the Carolina League specifically. I don't know what makes them the single A league that's special, but it's full of good base runners. And you got, at the very minimum, 3 of them right here that have stolen at least 7 bases for the Howlers so far.
That's a name I was going to bring up, Tommy Hawk. I mean, it seems like nobody has said anything about him. I looked it up.
I know.
7-day injured list. Have you heard what exactly his injury is?
No, it seems to be a lingering something. That's probably the best guess I can give at this point. And whenever you hear the term lingering, you think, I mean, gosh, this guy could be up tomorrow. He could be up in 2 months. You just really have no idea. But he is in Lake County, so we are excited to see Tommy Hawk once he gets out there. He'll fit into that rotation and that team, just about staying healthy. And not a super highly ranked prospect, but Ethan is saying, oh, we love these guys with speed on the base paths. Tommy Hawk's got that and then some. So,
yeah, but I mean, like you said, these guys in the Carolina League, it seems like without Tommy Hawk, kind of needs to be somebody else to step up in the farm system for snatching bases. And Fernandez is able to do it, man. It'll be fun to watch and see what he's able to do. That's a great point that you do bring up, though. That guys in the Carolina League really like to steal. I mean, it was Tommy Hawk. There was another guy neck and neck with him last year. I can't remember his name on who it was.
Yeah, he was in. Oh gosh, where was he too? Because he was in the Carolina League. We'll have to do some post-show research, or if one of the viewers wants to do that for us, that would be greatly appreciated. When we take it on down the line, hey, we'll switch up the format a little bit. I think it's important maybe we sandwich the prospect talk with the guards and what they did this week. Want to include them after all. 4 out of 7 this week, which honestly, considering the way that things went, you probably could have took 6 to 7 this week because you fall in that game against St. Louis, where the Cardinals, this has kind of been their MO. The Guardians were the way better team throughout their 3 games, yet the Cardinals won the series. That was about the 3rd time that the Cardinals had done that already this year. So it just seems like St. Louis is going to be one of those pesky teams that are not going to go away. And then you take 3 or 4 from Baltimore. Really should have had the sweep, had the Daniel Schneemann grand slam there on Friday. And then the bullpen said, actually, let's make things a little interesting down the line. So all in all, you feel like you should have had 6. You got 4. It's still a winning week. It's weird to say that a winning week is disappointing, but, considering the current status of the American League, it was a pretty good week for Cleveland. You're going to stay on top of the division. You stay towards the top of the American League. You're 13-10. I mean, let's take a look at what some of these other teams are doing. Toronto made the World Series last year, and Boston. Oh, yeesh. 8-13. The Kansas City Royals, I know they want their manager out. Lost 7 in a row. The Houston Astros are at the bottom of their division. The Mariners are 3 games below 500.
How about the Mets?
Again, I'm just talking specifically American League, but if you want to move into the National League as well, I mean, the Mets have lost 11 in a row. By the way, franchise longest losing streak for the Mets is 17 games by the 62 Mets. And everybody knows about the 62 Mets. So won like 40 games.
It is absolutely mind-boggling and shocking, not upsetting, that a team like the Mets that spent as much money as they did on their roster are playing so badly and doing so badly. I would be very, very frustrated as a Mets fan for sure. But again, that seems to be just an ongoing theme there for the Mets. I may have shared this at one other time or in some conversation. When I went to a Mets game, I was in New York. I went to the old Shea Stadium. I think it was 87. So it was the year after they won the World Series, and saw them against the Cheat Stros, who weren't the Cheat Stros at the time, and they were in the NL. So I think for a long while there, I kind of had a little bit of rooting interest for the Mets, just because I had been to their stadium as a kid and had a really, really close friend who was a Mets fan. So I always kind of pulled for them in the National League. And I gotta tell you, with all of the money that's put into it now, you're like, what in the world is going on there? And so I don't know. And the Twins overachieving. Are they for real? Are they for real? I don't know. That
comes crashing down in about 2 weeks.
Same with the Pirates.
Yeah.
Same with the Pirates. Because the Pirates do this every year, and the Twins, that's just a veteran team. They picked up a lot of guys that are now on the older side of things, and by that I'm meaning like 28 and up, like they've been in the league for a while, or they've been around baseball for a long time. So, but Twins also have a pretty sneaky good offense, also a sneaky bad defense. So The Twins are going to be interesting to follow. The Pirates, that's going to fall away at some point. You know who else I think is going to fall away? The Reds. They have the worst batting average in the majors.
Wow.
Last I looked, it was under 200, and yet they're leading their division.
That's crazy.
What did our man Jeremy Laraquente say? He believes Pirates pitching where I don't in the Twins rotation.
True. Very true. The only thing I will push back on with the Pirates is, two things actually. One, we still haven't seen it, and there are times where that lineup goes really cold. But if we see it from the Pirates, I think I even said this on podcast before, after, on somewhere in there. If the Pirates can string together some stuff and their offense can keep at it and not go on this cold spurt, and they can continuously give Paul Skeens and some of these other pitchers run support, that's a playoff team.
Yeah.
That is a playoff team. Back to the Guardians, though. When we look at it, fellas, obviously 4 wins is a good week because it's above 500, but it's a disappointing week because you should have had 6.
Yeah, you talk about how obviously it's a winning week, but you walk away a little disappointed. I'm more so disappointed with the St. Louis series than that loss against Baltimore, which is crazy to say. Obviously, your bullpen, they're not going to be lights out, right? We've been spoiled with watching perfection from the bullpen, and obviously, when your ace of the bullpen gambles his life away, there's going to need to be other guys to step up and fill rotation. So that happens. Obviously, it sucked watching it with my boy Schneemann hitting the grand slam. You're feeling great, and then the bullpen comes in and does that. But it does happen at the end of the day. That second loss against St. Louis with Juan Brito just gift wrapping them essentially the win. I mean, I just don't understand it whatsoever. That's an error that you just can't make. It's a tough play, but you've got to make the play. Obviously, you're in the majors for a reason. You've got to make the play. Brito's come up. He's delivered big hits at times. I don't think he's done terrible by any means. He definitely isn't in the same class as Jonathan Rodriguez or, Noel, a guy that's up there and just has struggled in the box. I mean, he's been able to hit, but his defense is absolutely atrocious. I mean, it's been terrible. Yes, he made the one game-winning save, I want to say Saturday, one of the games against Baltimore. I want to say
right. He did after
made up for it.
But he's made so many errors in that field that that's what's holding him back. I'm going to let Ethan go because I know he's ready to explode on the defense.
All right. Well, okay. Well, look, the difference between the guys who make it and the guys who don't make it is consistency, right?
Yep.
And Brito comes up and he starts out, like hot as a firecracker in at the plate. And you're like, okay, this is great. And now it is really turned the wrong way. He got a base knock today, big one. I think the outfielder kind of misplayed it, but you'll take it where you can get it. His defense is bad. It's bad. And he looks clueless at the plate. Watching him whiff at pitches, breaking balls on the inside that he's not even close to. It signs to me. It says to me he is gonna need to go back down again and see if he's got anything in the tank. I mean, it's not to say he could never make it, but his defense has to be better, and you can't continue to do this. And we're gonna have this conversation at some point because, as I said earlier, Arias is going to be injured for a while. What do you do? When you're talking about the in terms of how many years of control you have manipulating oh God, my brain is cramping right now, but the service time, when can Bazana come up? When is the earliest opportunity for that? Because he would be the likely person if you're bringing up another infielder, right, guys?
Right. Yeah.
So you've got that situation going on. I talked about it earlier. Bo Naylor should not be your everyday catcher. Hedges should be your everyday catcher with flip those. Bo Naylor is 1, bad defensively.
Yeah.
2, he doesn't call as good of a game for his pitchers. 3, he can't hit worth you know what.
And 4, you have a guy in the minor leagues in AAA. It's not like there's nobody like you're stuck with him. You're not. For whatever reason, this front office thinks that they have so much invested into Naylor and they need to prove something. Cool. His brother was good. Bo Naylor has never been good for us. In fact, he's never been good in the minor leagues. He's had one good season in the minor leagues. It was AAA, I want to say 2022 after Akron won the championship. That was his only good year. You can go back and look at his numbers. For whatever reason, they think because he was a high draft pick, you have to roll with Naylor. You don't. You don't at all. If anything, you send him down. He has options, and you send the guy up who's a top 10 catching prospect in baseball, who's swinging, I want to say, over 275. I don't know the number on top of my head, but I know Engel's hitting really, really well right now.
And Huff is fine too.
Better defensively, better at everything. Both the catchers at Fry and Hedges are better at the moment. Don't know how Hedges is hitting over his casual 120, but everybody on that roster is hitting better than Bo Naylor, and it's just sad that for whatever unknown reason they think that they just have to prove a point with this guy, and I don't know why it takes you 4 years to realize, hey, this guy sucks. We got to move on.
So here's what I've been saying about Bo Naylor for a while. Yeah, like, look, you got Cody Huff down there. You got Cooper Engel down there. The reason they don't give up on Bo Naylor is, which will get laughs from some people, which, depending on how you look at it, rightfully so, his metrics are good. He's making hard contact. He's putting the ball in play. His expected batting average is nearly 100 points higher than what he's actually hitting. So the way that you look at it from a front office perspective is it should be there for him. And I think the home run the other day has got to be so breathtaking for him. Like, the weight of the world is off of his shoulders. I think you give Bo Naylor at least one more week. Be off of that home run. Let's see if he can string something together. If nothing happens in this week and the metrics still look good, there's got to be a time where you think, okay, maybe the metrics don't tell the full story here. Maybe there's something else going on. Hedges is batting better because he sped up his swing. Yeah. He is no longer just really relaxed in there. He looks like a good, confident hitter, which is good to see. And the two guys down there in the minors, I want Cooper Engel before Cody Huff. I have a feeling they're going to give it to Huff first because of the amount of time they've spent in the organization. But I don't know. Last year, this organization surprised us when they called up Doug Nikhazy. Don't know if that was the pitcher everyone was looking at and thinking about. But for Huff and Engel, both of them have got 4 homers on the year. Engel is much more disciplined at the plate. However, he's just got way fewer full-length at-bats because he's drawn 18 walks this year. Cody Huff has drawn 8. The batting average for Engel is higher, but Huff has driven in a little bit more runs. Again, just like Ethan said, to me it doesn't really matter who they call up. Huff is also able to leg out some extra bases, where Engel, his only extra base hits have been the homers this year. And then when you look at the behind the plate issue, that's the only thing I can look at with Bo Naylor and say for certainty right now, he's got a real problem. Hedges by far calls a better game, and Naylor is not good at it. If whoever Naylor is catching for, if the pitcher wants to call his own game, I think they do a little bit better. But the metrics with Bo Naylor's bat says he'll come around. Is that true or is it not? I think you have to play out a little bit of time for it to see, because in the grand scheme of things, it's still early. And I'm not trying to advocate to keep Bo Naylor here, because if he continues to struggle, you got to do something.
Well, I think you look at it like, what did we do last year with Rocchio? Had that amazing playoffs the year before. And we didn't, at a certain point in early May last year, whenever it was, we said, all right, you need to go down to Columbus. And we sent him down. And then by the time he came back, when he had another opportunity, he turned into pretty solid Rocchio, and I'd like to think that possibly giving these guys a trip down to Columbus can be helpful.
Yeah.
It gives them you get the consistent, not that Bo's not getting consistent playing time, but let him work some things out. Again, his ability to call the game is just as important, if not more important, than what he's doing at the plate. And we have got to have somebody out there to guide a guy like Bybee through some tough times. We've got to get, I mean, it feels like it's so important. I mean, we saw it with, it feels like, was it with Kluber or Bieber that, gosh, I can't remember who.
I feel like it was Corey Kluber.
Yeah. Who was his?
So here's something that I will say. I threw up this comment for Mike, and I'm playing devil's advocate a little bit with Bo Naylor because I think especially offensively, you got to be a little patient. However, Mike is exactly right, and I'm going to agree with his sentiment. Calling a game and his defense to a catcher and to some people is more important than the offense. Look at the two guys that are in the minor leagues right now. Engel calls better games. Huff calls better games. Yep. And you don't really know how good of a game they can call, really, to me, until they get to the major league level. Because while baseball is special, because from single A to major leagues, the gap can sometimes be that thin, the pitching, that margin widens. That margin widens a lot. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Hey, now. But Josh Naylor had some really big hair.
Maybe Bo's got to grow his hair longer. Maybe that'll help.
The two things that you guys kind of touched on, I don't know if this is where you were going with this, with the defensively call.
Go ahead.
The call the game with the catcher, Ethan. We saw it with Bauer. Like, certain guys need certain catchers, and Bauer needed Roberto Perez. He's come out and said, like, hey, Yan Gomes is a great catcher, but Bebo calls a better game for him. And I think, I mean, every single one of these pitchers, if they had to answer this, and obviously they never will, if they had to answer who, like, genuinely do they trust calling their game behind the plate better, I guarantee every one of them would say Hedges. And that's the biggest.
You're absolutely right.
And that's the biggest part. Correct. I mean, if Bo Naylor could call the game like Hedges and hit 150, okay, because, Hedges never really produced, but now Hedges is starting to be both better. He's always been better defensively and calling a game, but now this season statistically, he has been 100% better than Naylor in the box. Again, he's not playing as much, but he has been better. Bo Naylor needs to figure some stuff out. Obviously, Nate, you mentioned, it's early. Well, like, his expected metric should be this. You've got to give him time to work it out.
And I'm going to phrase
time. It's been 4 years. Like,
well, and I'm going to phrase your point in a little bit of a different way, as you were saying, like, look, oh my goodness, I can't remember what you were saying, but I'm going to bounce off your point with this. And it's kind of what I had said earlier. The expected numbers only mean so much based off of everything else that you're doing on the field. Right. So with Naylor's bad defense, and look, every pitcher saying, yeah, we wish Naylor was a little bit better behind the plate. Oh, but the bat's going to come around. If he can't be good behind the plate, that's the number one job of a catcher. You will lose more runs being bad defensively than you will gain runs being good offensively at that position. And 1,000%. The point that I was going to bounce off of that too was, look, both Huff and Engel, I think they're both ready. Maybe give Engel a little bit more time to see some more at-bats. But even then, I mean, you've seen it proven in the minors from Engel. You've seen it proven for Huff. And like you had said earlier, Naylor's got the one good minor league season. They're not really ready to give up on him yet. Huff has been doing this for a long time. Engel has been doing this for a long time. I don't know when we will see a change there. But again, I know I'm sitting here advocating for Bo Naylor and saying, well,
no, you're not advocating for him. You're merely giving both sides of the story to try and give some perspective. I think we would all agree from our perspective. And I think most fans would see it the same way. It feels like he needs to take a trip down to Columbus, and we need to see what some other guys have and he needs to work on some things. But you're right. You're kind of just presenting that other side of the story.
Before you finish your thought, let me take off my journalism mind for a standpoint. That's just what I feel like I do best. I'd love for him to get the Brian Rocchio treatment yesterday. Send him down, let him figure some things out, and then hopefully he can come back up here and provide some good things for the playoffs. To me, the bat has just been very unlucky. What you send him down to work on in the minors is, I mean, they've obviously done a very good job with Cody Huff, Cooper Ingle, and even Dom Nunez at some points. He has not been great with the bat, but at some points he shows up and he's a good defensive catcher. So when you send Bo Naylor down, let him do his thing with the bat, because to me, eventually he's going to produce, he's going to get hits. The metrics just tell you that. Work on his defense. That's the treatment he's got to get down there in Columbus, to which, man, he needs it. And if we want to let you finish your point there on Bo Naylor, we'll bounce to another guy that maybe might need the same thing. So finish your thoughts on Naylor.
No, you've covered it very well.
Well, let's talk about what Mike is thinking about Manzardo. Mike, I'll speak directly to you here for a minute. Lock eyes. I think Manzardo's starting to figure it out. Starting to. Would he probably benefit from a week in Columbus? Yeah. But to me, and putting the journalism hat back like halfway back on, let's give Manzardo a little bit more time to see if this continues to trend up. If it trends back down, okay, then yeah, let's get him down there. He's got options left. Let him figure out his stuff. But do we want to hit on Manzardo at all? Because I think he's starting to get there. You need the power back, though. You got to have that.
He's got to stop being clueless at the plate. At least draw some walks. He's showing no consistency at the plate. He's not showing any patience. He doesn't have a good eye. Yeah. What happened to that? I thought that was one of his really good traits, is being able to come up. He had a good eye, and he's able to draw some walks and make the pitcher work. And now I think he's flummoxed.
I think it's exactly that. I mean, he hasn't been patient at all at the plate. He's just swinging at anything that comes by, and it just seems like he's praying that, there's some contact or a base hit, like you've said.
And speaking of praying, I just want to point this out, because this is about somebody getting down on their knees. Austin Hedges, congratulations. He's engaged after the game, proposed. Austin Hedges, way to go, buddy. You just threw your life. I mean, you're really good. This will be great for you. Best of luck to you. Now let's hope your home run powers don't leave you. Okay, go on, Nate.
Seriously, congratulations to Austin Hedges in an off season where it felt like everybody in the organization, both major and minor leagues, were getting engaged. Hedges, you're a little bit behind the times here, buddy, but congratulations nonetheless. Congratulations. I mean, it's getting back to wedding season, so it's getting into wedding season. Who knows? Maybe more of these guys get married and engaged and whatnot. But let's kick off that standpoint with Kyle Manzardo. First base has really struggled from a patient at the plate perspective. Combined between Manzardo, well, I actually can't even really combine Rhys Hoskins into that, because he's drawn some huge walks this year. He's struck out 18 times, which is second most to Manzardo, but he's drawn some massive walks and has come around to score on those. But I just told you Hoskins was second on the team in strikeouts. Manzardo's first, and he's got 7 more.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the most frustrating part, too, when you talk about this lineup, is that for whatever
25 strikeouts and 61 at-bats.
For whatever reason, Stephen Vogt, and again, I see why it's happening and why he plays Manzardo as that everyday first baseman. But when he's hitting 180 and Rhys Hoskins has been producing in big moments and drawing walks and doing the little things and is about as good defensively, why is he not the everyday first baseman? That's what I don't understand with Stephen Vogt. Obviously, you've got a lot invested into Manzardo. You traded for him. He was one of the biggest prospects you had coming back, but he struggled, right? Obviously, you've got to give him those at-bats. But if Rhys Hoskins is producing, you've got to put the guy that's producing in that lineup, the veteran presence. I would go with Hoskins. Obviously, they're going to go with their Manzardo and their Naylor, because assume they have something to prove with those guys. And I'm fully on Manzardo. I mean, we've seen what he's capable of doing. I don't think he's obviously as lost as Naylor has been. But again, he's got to start finding that footing.
Right. You talked about it, Nate. Just to give you, I'm on ESPN, his last 7 days. So in 6 games played, 7 of 22, scored 1 run, had 1 double, 1 run batted in, 1 walk, but 9 strikeouts. So of the 16 times, so 15 times he came to the plate, he did not, I guess he didn't reach base. If I'm reading this right, 7 hits and 22 at bats. Of those 15, 9 times he struck out. That's a lot. That's quite a bit there.
I believe when you work the walk in there, it's
7
14 hits on 23 plate appearances.
Okay, great.
So whatever. But yes,
whatever. That's terrible.
Exactly.
That's terrible. You've got to be better than that. Come on. You're not. If he's not being a power hitter, like you almost understood when you had power hitters who struck out all the time at the plate. He's not even hitting for power consistently, and he just looks bad. He looks bad at the plate. Is the issue again? Why? What is happening? We can't even blame the hitting coach. It's like, is this a different hitting coach than last year? Or is this the same one from last year? I can't even remember. Was it Valleca who we got rid of at some point, or that he left? I don't know.
Alvarez went to the Orioles, but I don't think.
Yeah, but he was the bench coach.
Yeah, he wasn't the hitting coach.
And whatever it is, we've got some guys up there who are guessing. They look like they're guessing, and they're up there swinging away. He and Brito both look horrific at the plate. And we haven't even gotten to some of the guys in the bullpen who look like they need a trip to the moon with Artemis too.
We'll put Brito's strikeout numbers into perspective as well. He's played half the games that I was going to say Stephen Kwan, but that's not a good comparison. He's played half the games that Angel Martinez has, and he's struck out more.
Oh, and I got to bring up Kwan. You brought him up. I was pissed with him the other night. I don't know if that was
couple
last
nights. Today too.
I don't know if he's been struggling to the plate, but what pissed me off is he hit that grounder to the pitcher, and the pitcher bungled the ball, and it didn't look like he was hustling down the line, and he ended up being out, and he would have been safe if he busted his ass like Jose Ramirez does every damn time.
It's another guy who struggled a little bit too at the plate.
Oh, he's absolutely. You said Jose?
Compared to what his expectations
compared to what he normally does.
But he's starting to. He's
starting to get there for sure. Kwan is they both been struggling at the plate a little bit.
Absolutely.
And again, 230 for Jose's not anything to freak out about, but what we're used to him doing, and he's coming on the upward trajectory.
I want to start to get some of these positives with this team.
I think we've got to start with Martinez.
Well, I'm actually going to start with the best player on the team in J-Ram because of what you talked about. Yeah, he's struggling and whatnot. Look, hit 2 homers just today, now has the club lead, was the first player in Major League Baseball to steal 10 bags this year. I mean, now the trend for Jose Ramirez, when he's hot, he just continues to go up. I want to tell you a story, and Trevor Bauer will tell this story to you as well.
Yep.
Don't remember what year it was, but there was a time where Jose Ramirez, I believe it was like 2016, 2017, where Jose Ramirez struck out on a pitch and, looked silly, fell to his knee, batting helmet came off, just highlight reel embarrassment. Comes to the bench, you can tell is pretty upset, sits there for a minute, looks up at the scoreboard, and kind of chuckles. And so Bauer goes over him and he's like, well, shoot, am I going to have to try to talk this guy up? Am I going to have to provide some words of encouragement? What do I got to do? He points to the scoreboard and says, me, 180, and then just laughs it off again. For the next month, he proceeds to hit 400.
Yeah.
So that's where I just don't worry about Jose at all. And the 2 homers today put that into perfect. Oh my goodness, I can't find it. Perfect perspective, right? Like, I'm not worried about Jose Ramirez. I'm not even really too worried about Chase DeLauder yet. Starting to get down to that point, but not too worried about it yet. When you look at the positives, Martinez has been great. Daniel Schneemann is just simply one of the best athletes in Major League Baseball. He can play 6 different positions and be above average at them. So Schneemann has just been a great asset to this team. Obviously, the grand slam, even in the losing effort that night. And then you've seen some good moments here and there from other guys too. I know George Valera hasn't played much yet, but early numbers seem to be that he's going to continue to do what he did last year when he gets time in the field. Brian Rocchio, man, we're getting some great stuff out of Brian Rocchio. Among qualified hitters, he leads the team in batting average.
That's crazy to say that.
It seems like all those utility role players, they've been absolutely on fire recently, right? My boy Schneemann with that grand slam, Angel today, 2 diving catches. Everybody talks about the offensive side of that guy. He's really starting to figure out that outfield. A lot of people, if you haven't followed the guy, you would think he's a natural outfielder. No, he came up second baseman, shortstop the entire way until he was with the major league club. Ran out of room in the infield, said, hey, we're going to try you out in the outfield as a utility guy. And, he's thrived. Some of the plays he's making out there, you would think it's Kwan.
And Kwan continues to make great defensive plays, which is what is you know that he's going to eventually turn it around, or he's shown he should be able to turn it around offensively, and the defense is still there. It's unlike Miles Straw, who was great defensively, a Gold Glover, but you knew the bat wasn't going to be there. For Kwan, the bat can be there, and I think that's only a matter of time, and the defense continues to impress. How impressive is what he's doing in center field this season, moving over there from left, and then, like you said, having Angel Martinez go to left field and really pick up the play there. That's quite impressive. Heck, I was pretty impressed with that right fielder today. Oh, who's that? David Fry.
Oh my! He made a diving catch today, dude.
Unreal.
Well, so I want to bounce off of Taven's point here because throughout the first half of the season they have played up to this point, you heard Underwood and even Tom Hamilton and Jim Rosenhaus start talking about like, hey, there are balls in left field that are falling in left field that Kwan normally would get to and Kwan would normally take. And it's been Angel Martinez that's played out there. At times it's been Schneemann that'll take over that position. It was CJ Kayfus for a while there. But now that I think you're going to see Angel Martinez get some more time in left field, especially after his effort today and really throughout this series, Angel Martinez is going to start to find not all of the balls that Steven Kwan would catch because we know how special Kwan is, but he's going to get to most of them. He's going to start to level up that defense in left field. And as long as Kwan continues to go strong in center, Chase DeLauder continues to be decent in right, I don't really worry about the defense. Brian Rocchio continues to impress up the middle. Daniel Schneemann has made some diving stops. For as bad as the strikeouts and the bats have been, you have seen Manzardo's defense take it a step up as well. Just some really uncharacteristic errors yesterday in that Saturday game. And some low throws. Manzardo picked every single one of them. And even Rhys Hoskins, his defense has been pretty good at first base too. So while the first basemen aren't going to jump out at you and say, wow, that guy's elite defensively, they've been good. And the trend has gone up for both of those guys. And we know what Ramirez is at third base. So it's about solidifying that left field position, which, look, you'll see Valera out there. You'll see Martinez out there. And then whatever you want to do behind the plate, like whatever you want to get some action going there, let's go. Let's make it happen. Because when you transition to the pitching thing, guys, the bullpen obviously has struggled somewhat. Cade Smith hasn't blown a game yet, but man, he's been Sabrowski had moments. Sean Armstrong was good today, but has had his moments as well. But boy, has this starting pitching been fantastic. Outside of Bybee's struggles, his last game was good, and this starting rotation's been fantastic.
Yeah, touch on the starters, absolutely phenomenal. Messick,
Williams.
What could you say about his last outing, right? No hitter down to the ninth. Gavin has been an absolute beast. I want to say 9 or 10 strikeouts the other night. Slade, beast. Joey Cantillo, he's been really good.
He's been solid. What else could you ask for him? I mean, he's really
what I'll tell you about the starting rotation. Cantillo's got the second highest K for 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had. I mean, he obviously things he fell apart a little bit there today, as he couldn't make it through 5 innings, but he's been consistent, and you're not looking for him to go complete games and such, right? I mean, at this juncture, that would be kind of a bonus. If you can get him in, I'd like to see him get six strong every night. We're getting the bonus. I mean, Parker Messick, the way he's pitching has been incredible. And it kind of picks up or makes up a little bit for where, unfortunately, Bobby has been. In that it hasn't been great, although, like you said, on Friday night, certainly held his own, had a good outing on. I'm sorry, let me get my brain right. Was he Friday? He was Friday, yes.
Yeah.
Bobby was Friday, yeah. So he had and we
didn't give up a run.
No, and we could have or should have won that game regardless of whether he wouldn't have been in the decision. But that's unfortunate that it ended the way it did. It's just the bullpen kind of pooped the bed, to put it mildly. That was brutal. The fact that Armstrong comes in and what did he do? He walked a couple and plunked another. You can't have that. You can't have that. And I don't know how long you can stick with that. I know he was like an acquisition in the offseason, and I'm like, what the heck are we doing here?
And the early returns for Hunter Gaddis have not been fantastic either. He's had some moments where he's struggled, but compared to some of the other arms in this bullpen, Armstrong is, it's on the lower end, but it's not that bad. We all know about Flyball Festa. We don't need to give him any sort of spotlight. So move on. Connor Brogdon, after some good starts, he hasn't been good lately either. Oh, bad,
he comes in and
bad.
He gave up that jack that gave Baltimore the lead.
Second pitch.
Oh, it was brutal. It was absolutely. I don't know. I was a little frustrated with that, and I'm overall frustrated with the bullpen at this juncture. I know that it's early. And Nate, you and I talked about that in terms of last year was like the bullpen was amazing and the starting wasn't amazing. And is it kind of a role reversal here? Possibly, whatever it is, we got to figure it out. I'm very, very concerned about Cade Smith and his ability to be a closeout pitcher and come in and just shut him down. Although he did it last night. Last night he was strong.
Yeah, last night he was great. And I actually want to touch on that too, because that's to me one of the other bigger storylines that I think people are missing is, look, Clase was developed in that closer role. Cade Smith has had to suddenly, because of the foolishness and the selfishness of Emmanuel Clase, he's had to switch his whole mindset. He's had to switch his whole routine. He's had to switch about the way he just simply thinks about his pitch sequence and what he throws, because this does not get said enough. The last 3 outs of a baseball game are the hardest to get because a closer sits there. If it's looking like a tight game, you're like, okay, but they have to be ready every single day. They got to be ready every single day to go. And to me, there's no question to me, the stuff with Cade Smith is there, right? He's got wicked breaking stuff. Nobody can touch his fastball. And there are just a couple pitches where if Cade Smith throws it, I don't care who you are, you're not going to hit it. It's mental for Cade Smith to me. He's got to get in the mindset. He's got to get his routine down.
Well, let me ask you a question. So 2 things I don't want to miss on this. Mike asked about what Connor Brogdon, will he be sent down when Walters comes up? Not Most sure, likely. But I'll let you guys address that. Cade Smith can't throw a splitter for a strike or get it close enough to the strike zone to make it even something to worry about. It's so bad. It has been awful all season long. That splitter is terrible. So what are you going to do when you don't have that as a weapon? It changes everything.
And it's a great chase pitch. Oh, it's a phenomenal chase pitch. But like you said, he's got to put it in the zone. Nobody can hit his fastball. Nobody's touching his fastball because of the movement that's on it.
Yeah, I don't know. And then who do you guys think could be better suited to replace that Class A POS as our closer then? I don't that's a great question. I'll let you guys
Let's
It's gotta
address
be
that
Cade
later.
Smith.
Well, yeah, say let's address that later. But Taven, take it away on Cade Smith.
I mean, it's got to be Cade Smith. There's nobody else that could really fill that role other than Cade Smith. I think Cade Smith last year, you put him on any team, but maybe 3 or 4, he's their closer too. I mean, he's just that good at what he does, right? There's not, like I said, there might have been 4 or 5 teams last year you put him on and he would have been a setup guy too, but he's realistically a closer. He was a closer when he was in Akron, closer when he was Columbus. He's a closer. That's kind of his role. He has struggled recently, but I mean, he was thrown into that role last year and he thrived at the end of the year, right? So everybody's gonna have their struggles. I think we're gonna see his a little early here, but there's nobody else that could really be in that role. Yeah, I think the only guy you could even make the argument for is Espino out of Columbus if you would have wanted to. But again, are you really going to roll the dice on a guy that hasn't pitched at all? I think it's got to be Cade Smith.
Well, do you think Espino needs to get called up at some point again?
Oh,
has
yeah.
he been up before?
For sure. Yeah. But
Yeah, I mean, if you
not
get him
throwing
up
into
there,
that closer role. I think
Right,
you
right,
easily
right.
start him in reliever, or maybe even as a setup guy with Gaddis.
Sure, you just got to see if you've got anything because potentially, if you have that, we need to get back to the lockdown bullpen where you know that if you're down after 6 innings, you're done. Guardians down after you're the opponent of the Guardians. You're down after 6 innings, going to the bullpen 7, 8, 9. You're done. You're done.
Yep.
It's over. That's what I think that we all would dream to see.
Well,
and right
and
now
I
it's
think
shaking
when-
ground.
And I think when you look at it too, I think the guys that are going to get that done, like Taven said, I think Cade Smith is the guy to get it done at closer. Gaddis is his setup man in the 8th, and then you can throw a myriad of options. But I'm going to throw Andrew Walters in that mix there to pitch that 7th inning. When it comes down to it, Game 7 of the World Series, who do you want? To me, Smith closing, Gaddis in the 8th, and how about Andrew Walters in the 7th? His stuff is nasty, dude. His stuff is ridiculous.
I wouldn't forget about Zabrowski either. Obviously,
no, absolutely not. And
he had that meltdown inning against Baltimore, but I mean that's everybody, especially Zabrowski was brought up last year. But you got to throw his name in there too. That's your core 4 in the bullpen this year once Walters gets back up.
And I mean, let's give Mike his little answer here. If anybody is going to even attempt to try to fill in what Cade Smith is doing, it's going to be Zabrowski, and even then, I don't really love it.
No, not as a closer, but as a middle relief setup guy, he's pretty freaking good.
Yeah.
I do like what Mike said here as well. Peyton Pallette, oh boy, that kid's shown some promise. He's shown some struggles, but he's shown some promise. Rule 5 draft pick, I don't think is going to be in anything super huge as far as his situations this year, but he needs to come on and pitch. I think he's another guy that can give you some long innings of relief. Like if we somehow, some way get into an 8-7 game after 3 innings where you have to yank the starter, get one of these long relievers in here, I think Pallette can perform well in a role like that.
Again, yeah, wild card, didn't really know what you were going to get out of him. He's been solid this year. I mean, definitely the least of the worries. I mean, obviously Festa and Brogdon, that's, the top of the chopping block, but curious to think, Nate, because I'm really right down the middle. Sean Armstrong this year, how do you think he's performed?
Definitely under expectations, but I also wouldn't say it's been a complete blow up because I think
I'm right down the middle with it.
Yeah, you've seen the good out of Armstrong, you've seen the bad, and I don't know. There have been much worse performances in this bullpen, so I can't really look at Sean Armstrong unfavorably because look at some of the other contenders, right? Like we're sitting here talking about how things can get fixed and back to the best bullpen in baseball because that's been the expectation in Cleveland. The Cubs bullpen is not good. The Orioles bullpen is not good. The Yankees bullpen freaking sucks. The Royals bullpen is god awful. So there are so many other teams and contenders out there that are really struggling with their bullpen. it's still kind of a blessing that, hey, even with some of the struggles here compared to the Cleveland Standard, they're still performing at one of the highest levels in baseball. It's a big reason why they're still top half in the league in lowest ERA. But again, with Armstrong, Festa's worse, Allard was worse, Brogdon's been worse, Colin Holderman was worse. So
No, I like what Mike has said. That's a really key point for what he's getting paid compared to other guys in the bullpen.
Yes, absolutely.
That's really when you start to look at it, because you're like, geez, from a dollars and cents perspective, this doesn't make any sense. And so
I like what you did there.
I mean, look, that's the problem. If you're going to pay these guys because we are so frugal, you want to see your money being well spent. And if you feel like you wasted your money, I forget what the saying is because I'm terrible with sayings, but something about something penny foolish, something or other, but I'm just going to stop right there. I think that you'd like to see more out of him, and that's what makes it more disappointing. If you were paying the guy nothing and he stunk, you'd be like, nothing lost. But you brought him in, you're paying him a little bit more than these other guys. Yeah, you're paying him more than all these other guys, and then he stinks. Or it's not.
I don't like that Mike is insinuating we DFA Sean Armstrong, because to me, it's nowhere close to that level.
Wait a second. He called it last week. He called it last week when we were doing the watch along as Colby Allard was getting shelled, and they left him out there. He called the DFA last Sunday night as we were watching.
Yep.
Who did he end up getting DFA'd for?
Gaddis when he came back.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yep. Gaddis when he came back in healthy, which, I mean, looking back on it now, both me and you, Ethan, should have been there and been like, oh, yeah. Yeah.
He's back in Columbus now? I thought he decided he was going to go and try and
nobody picked him up.
No, so they DFA'd him during spring camp, and nobody picked him up. So then he came back. They simply, I think, just sent him back down. Or maybe they had to DFA him again because he's got no more options left. I'm not sure. All I know is no one got him because he's back in Columbus. All right, let's touch on a little bit more things with Columbus, because let's get back to the Juan Brito thing very momentarily, because I do think there's an interesting conversation to have on who you call up. Because is it Tolentino and you have to slide Rocchio back over to second base, or is it the guy everybody wants to see in Travis Bazzana? I think there's a conversation to have there. I know which one is going to perform better once he gets to the major leagues full time. That's not a question to me. But for right now, which one of the two do you bring up there? Because I don't think it's fully set, dry, cut in stone. The numbers for both on the season have been fairly similar, but Tolentino's been just a little bit better. He's got a little bit better batting average. He's hitting 6 home runs compared to Bazzana's 1. The only thing that really Bazzana beats him out in is walk to strikeout ratio, and he's got 1 more stolen base. That's about it. Maybe I'm trying to overthink the room here a little bit, because again, we all know who the better player is. It's the number 1 the overall pick, but I don't think you can ignore what Tolentino's been doing. And Logan Petoskey said it when he was on the show last year. Tolentino finding this power is insane because he's never been a power hitter.
You're right. It's a game changer. The question you really got to ask yourself is, though, like, once you bring Bazzana up, is there ever going to be a time for Tolentino to come up and see what he has? In my opinion, I don't think there will be, because if you bring Bazzana, if Bazzana's the next guy up, Arias is going to come back. That means Brito is going to be down along with potentially somebody else. And it just seems like Tolentino is just going to end up being the odd man out. So if Brito really starts to struggle these next couple weeks, then obviously they're not going to be ready to bring Bazzana up this early in the season. I think that comes very late May, early June at the earliest. You might want to roll the dice with Tolentino and just see what he has. And ultimately, if it doesn't work out, he's got those options that you could send him back down.
I like what Mike said, and I thought the same thing. Schneemann. Let's use Schneemann at second base a little bit more here.
Yeah,
beast.
I fully agree. Agree.
Because right now he's hitting well. He plays well enough defensively that you're not ready to shoot yourself when the ball gets, hit his direction. So I could see that being a thing. And you talked about Tolentino. It might be a numbers game. It might be a numbers game where, as you said, Taven, he might be the odd man out in this equation. We don't know, and we don't know who knows? Maybe you bring up Bazana, and then you bring up Tolentino, and you leave Arias in Columbus for a little while so he can work on his hairdo.
I don't know if Arias has options left. They might just have to DFA him.
That's a good question. I don't think Arias does have options.
Yeah,
so I think once Arias comes back, I think it's like, hey, it's well, I was going to say, I think once Arias comes back, it's probably going to be, hey, we're glad you're healthy. Get out of here.
I think that other players can fill that role just as well. We've seen Rocchio basically. He's gone back to shortstop, which is where we've discussed this, where he was playing with the other chucklehead who Andres Jimenez. He was at short. Himmy was at second.
Yep.
And I think that we saw he can definitely play a good shortstop. And so if you've got him over there, that's great. And you kind of run through some of these guys. I don't think you need Arias at short and Rocchio at second. Keep Rocchio at short. Bring one of these, some of these other guys up. Let's figure out the second baseman position. And roll from there. It's unfortunate. You hate to see a guy get injured and then that be the gateway for you to lose your job, but that's the nature of professional sports. It unfortunately that's the way it is. And
like Taven said too, it's a numbers game. And quite frankly, there are just way too many numbers in Columbus to keep playing this game.
Yep.
There's got to be some decision to be made here. And I kind of agree with Taven. Let Bazana develop that power a little bit more because I think everything else is there. Let him get some home runs, get the home run party going. And once they're ready for Brito to get back down there, play Schneemann at second base more than Juan Brito right now. And once you're ready to get Brito down there, bring Tolentino up and, play him like a Will Wilson at first. Let him get 2 weeks in there, see what happens. And if the returns are good, then make a decision.
Yep.
So that's my thing with Columbus. Taven, anything to add?
Like you said, I mean, there's a numbers problem, right? It's a good problem to have. Obviously, you need that talent coming up. It's not something where you're necessarily it's a negative, but you do have to make decisions. I mean, I think most of them are a layup in a sense. Like, obviously, you see Bo Naylor sucks. There's no other way to put that. So you bring Engel up. You see Manzardo struggling. I don't think, you make the move now, but if there's another guy down there, and again, another guy, CJ Kafis, who wasn't terrible while he was up here, it's just a numbers thing. Maybe he gets another shot. And you've got Tolentino, and you've got Bazana, and you've had Brito in the mix. I mean, there's just all these guys that it seems like you've had for a minute now that deserve that opportunity.
Khalil Watson seems like he's been on a tear. No, Taven, you're not a fan.
Here's my thing with Khalil.
Well, but before you say yours, and maybe we're about – actually, I'll let you say it in case we say the same thing.
My thing with Khalil is his defense, and I think it's a lot I think it's going to be a copy-paste what you see with the Brito. I think he's a guy that's going to come up, and you're going to see 180, maybe 200 if he gets really lucky, and he's going to be not great in the field.
And I'm glad we actually were about to say different things. If you want to solve the strikeout problem of Manzardo, and you're talking about, okay, the guy most likely to get sent down now besides Brito, Watson's got one more strikeout than him in a smaller sample size.
All right,
he
fair
swings
enough.
A lot.
Oh, fair enough.
But I'd roll the dice.
I'm just saying. Watson train.
I'd roll the dice over him over a Nolan Jones or Stuart Fairchild, though, in my opinion.
Well, because you know what you have with Jones and Fairchild, both of their last stops in the major leagues. It was terrible. It was not good.
Yeah.
Even though Fairchild's hitting 1 for 3, it's whoa, what happened there?
Sorry about that. It's ESPN.com. It decided to
I got you.
play a sound, so I had to just turn
well,
that down.
let's go to the Ducks. Taven, I'll let you take it away to start this one. Wild weekend for the Duckies.
Yeah, obviously everybody's going to talk about the no-hitter today, but let's go back to last night. You've got Guy Lipscomb with a walk-off win. They celebrate deep in right field. Haven't seen a celebration go all the way to the outfield in quite some time, but that's what ended up happening last night. And then today you've got the no-hitter with Matt Wilkinson and all those relievers that we named. Jacob Cozart calling one heck of a game behind the dish. A heck of a week in Akron, to say the least. And obviously they're rolling. They're 10-5. Love to see that. Take 5 of 6 from the defending champs. Not much more to say.
Well, and you didn't even mention too how they walked it off. Squeeze, bunt, walk off. Ethan,
Crazy.
when's the last time you saw a squeeze, bunt, walk off, if ever?
Oh man, I don't know.
He's
Well, we won the opener last year, the home opener, with a walk off, not a squeeze walk off. I don't know.
And did that to get into the playoffs too. But I also want to go to Akron because look, Columbus is going to be the next guys up. We know that. Mike, I was just about to get to this point, so we'll flash the comment up there. Watch out for some of these guys in Akron. Especially, I don't know why it's not popping up. Okay, there it is. Especially to me, Ralphie Velasquez, but Angel Yanal too. I mean, 2 guys that have been dynamite for the Ducks so far this year. But there is another name that I would keep an eye on. Isn't Alfonso Rosario leading AA in home runs right now?
Yes, he is. At least Eastern League. I don't know about all AA, but he is the Eastern League home run leader. I know that for a fact.
There you go. Watch out for him too, and he's an outfielder.
Yeah, absolute beast. And he is built, man. He's built like a first baseman or a catcher, and he's just got speed and power. He's a beast. He's pure muscle. He's got speed. They've even tried him out in center, and I saw that, and I was questioning, but he's got some speed out there. So he's an absolute unit. You'll definitely see him in Columbus by at least July.
I mean, it's if you look at it,
Angel Yanal there too.
Yeah, the average isn't great for Rosario so far in 2026. I mean, he's hitting 227, 10 hits, 44 at bats, 9 runs, 5 homers, 11 runs batted in, 1 stolen base. But like you said, power. He's got some power. He looks like a mean dude, and he looks serious at the plate. I wouldn't mess with that guy.
Yeah, the average is nothing to obviously, flip out about. I want to say end of the year last year at 257, somewhere around that. I don't know if it's in front of you.
251 was his season average last season. Yes,
251. So again, not a guy that's going to hit for a ton of a batting average. Not many power guys do, but it's that pop in the bat that's the really big part of his game. And again, a lot of these guys with the pop in the bat, they're bigger dudes. They normally DH, play first. He's able to play center field. That's huge.
Well, and let's look at this pitching staff here as well, right? Josh Hartle has been great. He's got a 2.45 ERA, and there are 3 other guys in the starting rotation sitting ahead of him. Taven, we remember how tough it was watching Tugboat last year, and it just seemed like there was something about his game that just wasn't quite right. Well, 13 1/3, only 2 earned runs, 17 strikeouts. That's a 1.35 ERA. He's been awesome. And then you pair Caden Favors in there. You pair the Shane Bieber return Cal Steffen with him, who is sub 1 after a pretty rough opening day start too. Taven, I would harder to think that, look, there are some great prospects in this offense. It's been the pitching.
Yeah, you're right, 100%, and that's exactly what I think that this team needs coming up. Whether if it's anybody to slide in that starting rotation, there's going to be bullpen spots to fill out, and that's a fact. So, Love to see what these guys are doing. You mentioned Tugboat struggles last year. It's great to see him just being able to get back to what we know he's capable of. And then Cal Steffen, I mean, a big question mark last year, dealt with some injuries coming over from the Shane Bieber trade. He's looked pretty solid. Obviously, the walks are a little bit of a problem with him, and it's been in the past. But he's not giving up many hits. He's really sure not giving up that many runs, if any, certain outings. So, yeah, you've got a lot to build there, especially with that starting lineup. But again, the bullpen's been really great too in Akron. So, got a lot of great pitchers coming up through the works.
Ethan?
I'm looking at the numbers as you're talking about it, and kind of it. Everything you're saying obviously is supported by the numbers. I mean, just for your reference, if you didn't say it, I mean, Cal Steffen, a .71 ERA, 3 starts, 12 and 2/3 innings pitched, 9 hits, 3 runs, 1 of those earned, 11 walks, 15 strikeouts. You get the walks under control, that's
Right.
a big thing. And then you're really talking turkey there.
Well, and I mean, talk for it a little bit too about, the role that he's having to fill into, not just as, again, the opening day starter and the one of the best pitchers that's down there in Akron. He's having to fill a big role because of the guy that he got traded for.
Yep.
And when he started coming off of injury, Taven, 2 or 3 games last year, they were not great. They were not very good. But, man, I tell you what, I think there's more pressure on him than there would normally be on a double-A pitcher, and he's living up to the billing.
Yeah, 100%. You talk about the guy who he was traded for, and Shane Bieber. There's not many minor league guys that have the shoes that he has to fill. And I think, obviously, he wasn't great at all last year, but this year he's been an absolute beast. So it's been good to see him really, get into that role and just thrive in it as that ace down there in Akron. I mean, that's obviously what his role is. He's the ace of that team.
Fellas, normally I have more stuff than this, but I do not tonight. How about from any of you guys?
I've got nothing. I think we really hit it home on everything.
We talked about a lot today.
You know what we haven't talked about is we need to talk about why Mr. Taven wasn't here last week.
That's true.
We need to hear all about his experience last weekend. He might have had a chance to meet some guy who
may have dropped
Spida.
30. Yeah, he dropped 32 points in game 1 yesterday.
Yeah, might have been a former dunk champ, some guy named Donovan Mitchell. Don't know if you heard of him. Taven, talk to us. Tell everybody what was going on and just about the whole experience, because I think it's fantastic, and it all goes to show and prove the point of all the hard work that you have put in over the past number of years. And Nate, you as well. I mean, you had a pretty awesome
We'll get
experience.
to me. Taven had the better experience. So let's table it for right now. Taven got to meet Donovan Mitchell. Okay,
Yeah, but I want it goes to show what you guys have done and how hard all your hard work is paying off. So Taven, talk to us. Tell everyone what you got to experience last weekend.
Yeah, so Adidas commercial with Donovan Mitchell for the new shoe, the Don 8s. It was a pretty cool experience.
All right, hold up, hang on, timeout. Full length timeout. We'll send it to the media real fast. I got it. Did you get a pair of shoes?
Did not. They're not out yet. Not
Dang
out.
It.
Shoes aren't out yet. I don't even think there's a release date on them yet. So that's how early we are in the whole making of the shoe. But Donovan's not even hooping in them. He was wearing the old ones last night.
Right. So talk to us. Yeah. So
anyways,
go ahead.
Anyway, so spent 3 days up in Cleveland shooting. We were at the Cleveland Library for 2 of the days. The other day was just to get clothes that we were wearing for the commercial. But it was a really good time. one of the assistant coaches, Coach Keys for the McKinley Bulldogs, he knows the guy that's pretty much producing, running the whole commercial. They were looking for extras, so I went down, filmed a bunch of the McKinley kids doing some basketball drills, and I was there. I was talking to the guy. He was like, "Hey, we need an extra for the commercial." I was like, "Yeah, sure." Filled out paper, said he'd get back to me, and obviously landed the spot. As an extra in the commercial, so it was a good time. Up in Cleveland for 3 days. Donovan was an awesome guy. We got to talk to him toward the end of the day on Sunday. He was there for probably 5 hours. We were there for a long time. But yeah, just shooting the whole commercial, seeing how all that stuff works was just pretty awesome. It takes a lot for a commercial. I want to say the crew was like over 100 people for an Adidas commercial, which is just crazy. I mean, I don't even want to know what a show or a movie looks like if that was just for a 30-second ad or however long it's going to be. But yeah, we were talking to Donovan a little bit. Awesome guy. He's just one of the most down to earth people you'll ever meet. We took some photos with him. He was wearing the shoes. Got to guard him in a couple of the photos, so that was pretty cool. So yeah, altogether it's just real good experience. Awesome guy. It was just a great time.
Now, did you get your Screen Actors Guild card?
My what?
Your Screen Actors Guild card. You're a SAG member because you're going to get paid, right? You should. Yeah. So I think you have to. Nate, am I right?
I don't know if it works that way for a commercial.
Okay, okay. Maybe as an extra in a movie.
You're going to be on screen for maybe a full 2 minutes or 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't.
Whatever. Hey, it's more. Hey, it's whatever it is. I'm just asking. No, that's fantastic. So you had a chance. You had a chance to talk to Donovan a little bit. What kind of questions were you asking him, or were you just kind of shooting the breeze?
Pretty much just that. Asked us where we're all from, just how we kind of landed the gig, and just talking to him about whatever in the moment. One of the WNBA players was there too. She was in the commercial, Leah Boston.
Oh, that's amazing! That's awesome.
She was in it, and then they had a high school kid. Kansas recruit. I don't know if you guys have any clue who this is. TK. His name's Talon Kenny. He's the 6'7" basketball guy. So
6'7". Yeah. Now
Ethan would have loved them.
Yeah, I would. Well, what happened to Canton's own? What is it? Darren Peterson. Peterson. There's that guy. Kansas.
Yeah. Probably when he plays, when he wants to play.
I know. No, that is absolutely amazing, and I'm hoping that. Maybe, you'll get gifted a pair of the Dons. Although I don't know. I mean, I gotta say honestly, I'm gonna be, just be out there having worked at the shoe store in the athletic apparel. Not a huge Adidas person. Never really loved their basketball shoes. Didn't feel like they cut it. I thought the Nike were better. But hey, you know what? Free is good. Hey, look, you want to know Free is good? I think they had something. There was a pair of low top Allen Iversons that we had to promote. So I got to wear I had some low top AIs and for free. So Free is good. I'm not gonna be upset about that. And as Mike from the UK pointed out, Jared Allen had to bust out a new pair of Kyrie. A new pair of Kyrie. And that's crazy. So that's awesome. Congratulations, Taven. Again, all of your hard work. I don't know. For anybody who's watching and listening and doesn't know what all the stuff Taven does, covering Stark County high school sports, it's fantastic, and you should be really, really proud of yourself and all the work you've done. And Nate, I'll heap the praise on you in a minute.
Let's throw it at Taven for a minute, because Stark Sports, he's your guy. Taven, I think during football season, I asked you, all right, how good are these guys once we get into playoffs? I was running a post-game show on the radio station I work at. So, I had to know how good some of these teams were. He provided me with some good information. Basketball, same thing. Doing a lot of baseball stuff right now. But, folks, he's done bigger stuff than that. He's covered Kent. He's covered Akron. He's covered AA baseball, which is a lot higher than most people get. So,
yeah,
hats off.
Absolutely. And do we need to put hats out on the table? Did you hear about his official announcement, Nate?
I have not yet. No.
Did you know? Do you want to share that? Is that
What?
is that
Are we
secret
doing
information?
a reveal? All right. This will be clipped.
I've actually got a hat. We'll get it.
Oh, all right. Let's.
All right. This is good. This is a big announcement here. Where Taven McCulley, you're highly sought after.
Speech.
And coming up in the fall of 2026, where are you taking your talents?
Your media talents.
Media talents.
We'll be taking the media talents to Fear the Rue.
Oh, look at that.
All right.
Congratulations.
Post game presser time. Why Akron?
First off, like the campus, I've already done some stuff up there. That's, the biggest reason. They've got a good media program when I've toured it. And, yeah, I mean, just know a lot of the guys over there, the athletic directors I've, worked with to get into Zips games as, I'm still in high school. So done some of that. I've done a couple basketball games there. So know a lot of the guys there. Facilities are absolutely amazing. The Jar, Infocision, they're both awesome. So yeah, should be a good time.
You should have a good time.
That's
don't
awesome.
party. Don't, you're gonna do really well there. Take advantage of all the opportunities you have, and I can't wait to find out what your DJ name is or what your role will be on 88.1 WZIP. Because I mean, that's an amazing station. Gotta tell you.
So I gotta tell you, I with everything you do with your little cellular device, go beat Kevin Walsh, or as I more will be in line with, shout out John Campbell. He was at my college up in Little Wayne, Nebraska. He had an internship with Tennessee football. He was a media video photographer for Air Force, and now he's in Nashville at Vanderbilt in the SEC as a 25-year-old. John, I hope I'm not getting your age wrong. 25. So just to show you what can happen, Akron's already a lot better starting point. Actually, I can't even say that. There's no better starting point one way or the other. It's what you do with it, and
Yep.
I know you're gonna do a lot with it.
Yep, absolutely. Really, Taven may not. I don't know how much it means, but you came on my podcast a few years ago, and the amount you've grown and everything you've done since then has just been tremendous. So really, great job, great work. This is not this is only the beginning. This is only the beginning. So congratulations on all of that, and I know you'll do well. Make sure you keep your grades up and bust your ass. You'll be all right.
I think we need to ask, though, what are your aspirations? You want to get into video photography? You going to get on the radio? You going to call some games? What's going down here?
Pretty much anything I can get into.
That was me too, brother.
Like doing stuff mainly in front of the camera, like talking, obviously podcast, radio. I love doing interviews. That'd be the number one thing. If I could pick what to do, post-game, sideline interviews, pre-game, whatever it may be. But yeah, just anything I could possibly get my hands on, I'm all for.
Let's get you up with let's get you up there connected with Dre Knott or Gerard Cherry.
Oh yeah.
And even it's Kaylee. Is it Kaylee Griffin or Serena Winters? It's Kaylee Griffin, right, for the Cavs.
Serena Winters.
Kaylee's the pregame, postgame.
Okay. So Serena. So you can get dapped up by JA.
Yup.
You know what I'm saying? No, they're absolutely just. You can be the next Evan Washburn if you want to be on the sidelines doing the interviews. I mean, you could be
Tom
Craig.
Rinaldi.
He could be Craig Sager.
Please tell me you're not going to wear a pink suit with red shoes and a purple belt.
I don't know about all that.
I don't know. Well, okay. So Taven, first of all, congratulations on all of that. As I can't speak here, Nate.
Oh boy, busy week.
You deserve some high praise as well, because all of your hard work at Peak of Ohio and before that, and here on the podcast, everything you've done in college and now, and you're getting some big opportunities. Yesterday, where was it that you were at? in a media
don't know.
capacity?
So I don't know if you've ever heard of the Horseshoe. It's this little stadium that's in the middle of downtown Columbus, and they have I don't know if I can count this high. 9-time national champion football team. Spring game. Spring game. Very fun, very lax environment. Really short press conference, but I have no complaints at all. I've met a bunch of media guys during my time in Columbus, covering not only the Aviators and getting some of that audio right there on our station, but also same thing with the Buckeyes and all the local high school sports around here. We have an assistant baseball coach who was a head coach for a long time in the town I work in Bellefontaine, who got drafted by the Mets and was the heir apparent to one of their catchers and just, never got out of the minor leagues for whatever circumstance that may have happened to be, but really good baseball player. I mean, there are some awesome people out here. My owner, my GM, they're all absolutely fantastic. Got to talk to Louis Vito, who was an Olympian, the oldest Olympic half-pipe snowboarder ever, and grew up right here in Bellefontaine. So I've had the chance to talk and interview him. Obviously just sat at the press conference 15 feet away from Ryan Day and Julian Sayin and Kenyatta Jackson. And we're not done this week. Not done at all. Let's see. And again, I can, it's awesome working at a station where you're an affiliate of so much. I've covered Buckeye basketball before. I went to March Madness this year. I've gotten into 2 Aviator games. It's been awesome and fun. So I am really looking forward to what the future holds here, as obviously trying to get things down, set in stone, a season pass, individual games, whatever it may be for Buckeye football. I know I'll be at least 3 of the home games. Also, probably will take a trip out to Bloomington and go cover them in Indiana. Maybe buy a plane ticket and go see my friends back in Nebraska when they travel to Lincoln as well. So Buckeye football going to be a lot of road trips for me, writing, audio, all sorts of things. And then, hey, if I want to, when the Jackets come around, I can get a press pass to them. I can go to the Crew. I can go to a Guardians game where a Guardian affiliate, Tom Hamilton, gets broadcast on our country music station. So it's, I truly have been very fortunate with where I've been. With everything that I've did up in Wayne, just got my hands on everything possible, with everything that I create myself doing at the station, to this with you fellas, to my YouTube channel, which I'm going to get back up and running here within the next couple of weeks, because prediction season is coming up in June. I mean, it's just been awesome. Taven, I'm sure you can speak to this as well, but biggest piece of advice to anybody, just make your own opportunity and just start. Because once you get started, who knows what it can grow into.
100%.
Absolutely. So you guys have had big weeks as a kind of, again, more proof is in the pudding. Everything that you guys have done. And it's just getting bigger from here. Yeah. You're just starting. So, again, I hope that everybody who is watching now, who has watched before, who is listening, knows how hard these guys work and what a fantastic job they do, because it's not easy to do it, and to do it on a consistent basis and stick with it. It's easy to get discouraged and give up, or just say, I don't got time for this. I'm going to put this to the side and not do it. There's a few people that can stick with it. So keep up the great work and effort, because you're killing it.
Well, hey, and I know that you yourself as well, being the lead play-by-play for a, collegiate women's basketball team, that's already good stuff. You've joined us here on this podcast, which I think everybody appreciates, because you provide such unique insight that, look, you've said stuff. David can speak to this too. You have said stuff that Taven and I never would have said last year. Yeah. Never. Not in a million years. And I mean, look, you're doing the Crunch. You have your own podcast, which deserves more love than it gets. And you made it out with a press pass to Hill City. Took that journey down there. You got up to Cleveland. You did that. You asked me about Columbus Aviator press pass. So maybe I'll see you this year. So it's, you do great work in and of yourself. And I know while it may not to you seem like some of the cool stuff here, I mean, to me, going to Ohio Stadium, covering a spring game is not cooler than Taven getting to shoot a commercial with Donovan Mitchell, and Taven might think the exact opposite. So I think it's all about perspective and what you do, but I think all three of us in here, this turned into a let's pat each other on the back moment. But seriously, we all do great work. And hey, we're by no means done, because we got more prospects of the land coming at you. I know I got a really busy week, all the baseball game to call Friday. I will either be doing a softball tournament locally here in DeGraff, or I will get down to Beaver Creek just outside of Dayton. I'll do the Central State spring game. So I'll be broadcasting that. And then next week, look, for as much media stuff as you do, you got to have some fan moments. So I'm going to a Crew game next Saturday. If Drew Hagenbaugh is going to be there, might meet up with Drew. So we'll do Crew at Philadelphia Union Saturday night, and then Columbus Fury volleyball Sunday afternoon before we hop right back on the podcast with you fellas next week.
And there's going to be a lot to talk about. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. We're talking baseball. Yes, there'll be a lot to talk about.
Well, we're also looking at the Browns draft too, right?
Yeah.
Browns draft and the New York Giants just picked up another top 10 pick, getting rid of
Dexter Lawrence.
Dexter Lawrence, that's right.
Yeah.
Wow, this is crazy. And for those of you, I know this is completely off topic, but I find this kind of interesting because it affects us as Cavs fans. Orlando's up on Detroit in the fourth quarter.
Late in the
All right, time to get off. Let's go watch the rest of that.
No, I think so. No, and really, again, appreciate you guys and glad we're all able to do this together. It's a lot of fun.
We appreciate you too. Taven and I built this up to what it is now, and obviously we want to see it getting bigger.
Yep.
Starts with bringing on a third person. So 3 perspectives, I feel like is the perfect mesh number. Perfect mesh number, especially with where you are. I mean, hell, we got an affiliate out there. Out there. Makes it so easy.
Hey, I'm glad to do it, and hope I can get back out there again this season. It'll be awesome.
Well, while we are patting people on the back, we also have to shout out Jeremy Laraquente, who has tuned in today. We appreciate him for letting us get on this opportunity. Taven, we obviously started with Kevin Sleds in Believeland, and then he wanted to go a little bit smaller, tried to get on with a couple other people, and nothing stuck. He was the one to be able to take a chance on us, so to say. And for as small as our show is, we're only going to continue to let it grow. And I think we've gotten a pretty good following so far. Tomorrow, I know I am going to be on for a little prospect show. We're starting to get some things together for a Monday night show about the prospects in the entirety of baseball, not just here in the land. You'll obviously have my expertise in that regards, but hey, you want to hear us talk about some of the rookies in Major League Baseball? Want to hear us talk about who might the next Travis Pizzanas or Connor Griffins be around Major League Baseball? Tune into that tomorrow night, and everything else that the Baseball Banter broadcast gets up to. Great people, phenomenal people. Really got to find ways to interact with them more and gets outside of our POTL bubble. Even though it's a fantastic bubble, man, they do some great work, and the Baseball Banter broadcast is awesome. I know there's also a Football Banter broadcast as well. Not a lot of people know about that. You should go follow that too.
Sounds like an excellent choice. Oh, and I do want to thank everybody who's tuned in. I know you guys go through the numbers, but also Mike from the UK, Mike Pellegrini. And just so I know we kind of go around the horn here a little bit. Going Nuclear, my main podcast. We're going to be part of the Land Multimedia Group when we're going to premiere on the Land Multimedia Group on Friday night. We're going to do a live watch along of the draft. You two guys are welcome to join in. Myself, Mike from the UK, Drew Hagenbaugh. We're going to be running that. The 3 of us will be doing that show. They have been so graceful to jump on. And but again, you guys are more than welcome to jump on Friday night. We'll be talking about all that happened on Thursday and whatever's going on Friday. So just a heads up there. And Mike,
I think once I get home from my baseball game, we'll
I'm sure it'll still be going on. And again, also, Mike Pellegrini, you guys see him in the comments, Mike Cavs UK. Hey, as he said, I'll stay in the background for the research. He knows it all. This guy's up right now. It's in the middle of the night there. I guess 2 a.m., 5 hours different. It's 2 a.m. and he knows all of this stuff and keeps up with it. And he's just a darn good person, just like you fellas, a great friend. You guys are all good folks. So I just wanted to kind of, throw that out there.
Well, we appreciate the love that you guys give us as well. Total views throughout the night, we're hovering around 50. We got 12 of you tuning in right now. So, hey, not a bad Sunday night show. Not a bad Sunday night show at all. Don't forget, we're here every Sunday. And if there is a minor league game on, which I don't believe, again, there's another one next week. So, usual show. We'll put the graphics up. Again, sorry that we couldn't get those out this week, but we'll put the graphics up, start clipping out things from the show, and tune into everything else that goes on Baseball Banter Broadcast. You'll see where to follow all the podcasty things later on. But before we run down who all the affiliates got this week, we just gloated about not gloated, but we highlighted everything that we do in the sports media world. Taven, where can they find you at?
Yeah, at Stark Sports Coverage on Instagram. Got a lot happening this week. Rivalry week here in Stark County. You've got McKinley Massillon, not as, hyped up as football, but it's still rivalry. You got Jackson Hoover, Lake Green. So a lot of good coverage coming, everybody's way this week. And yeah, and obviously here on Prospects of the Land.
Ethan.
All right, you can follow me on social media on Twitter, X, at egreen4325. Probably the best place to find me, where most of the time I'm on there and I'm making comments and yelling at the people on ESPN Cleveland in the morning as to what they're saying and commenting and whatnot. But no,
they're funny.
I try every once in a while. Follow along again. Going Nuclear, CLE. We will be joining the Land Multimedia Group starting on Friday night, and then we will be moving to a normal show slot. We believe Thursdays at 7 p.m. will be the normal show slot. Myself, Mike Pellegrini, also known as Mike Cavs UK, and Drew Hagenbaugh will be hosting, and we'll give you all kinds of coverage. We're going to try and expand a little bit because of everything that Mike from the UK and Drew also follow, including the Columbus Crew, the Blue Jackets, and it's just crazy happenstance as we come from three different situations. We are all Spurs fans, Tottenham Hotspur, and as in their battle to stay out of relegation. So we will have a lot to talk about, but definitely just tune in there, follow everything through my social media on Twitter, X, and I'll try and get up stuff posted. And again, just thanks a lot for everybody that's here in the chat, and thanks to you guys as always.
Me at Tailgate Nate 29. That is Twitter. That is Instagram. That is, even if people still use it, Snapchat. I'm thinking about deleting it. But also right here at Prospects of the Land, everything that I do right here in Bell Fountain, Ohio, and beyond, peakofohio.com, peakofohiotv.com. There you can watch, listen, read everything that I get up to there. All the sports articles on Peak of Ohio. Bam, all me if you want to see what's going on around Logan and Champaign County. Also do some news out there, so expanding my horizons that way. Here with Prospects of the Land of the Baseball Banter broadcast, also with the Tailgate Nate College Football YouTube channel, which has been a little bit dormant, usually is around this time. But hey, we're making a plan. Prediction season is coming in June. I am a maniac, and I predict every team in the country, and we're doing it again this year. We're doing it again. All right, fellas, let's run through what all the affiliates have got today, or I should say this week. Hill City, they are going to be back at home, and boy, do they have a fun matchup this week. The 12-3 Hickory Crawdads, the single-A affiliate of the Texas Rangers. Boy, have they been a joy to watch early on this year. But that is going to be a home series for Hill City, so home for 6 games there. Move up to High A and Lake County. Right back at it, this time on the road against the powerhouse, the West Michigan Whitecaps. boy, another really tough opening series here for Lake County. So they are on the road for 6 games there. For Akron, they are also going to be hitting the road. You know, their hot bats, their hot pitching, they'll carry it all into Chesapeake to take on the Bay Sox. That is in Bowie, Maryland. So they will get on with the Chesapeake Bay Sox in a road series. And then Columbus back on the road as well. They're going to look to get things a lot more consistent. They have got the Buffalo Bisons. So they will be taking their talents way up north where hopefully it's not too cold. It is April. It should start to warm up. But to recap, Columbus at Buffalo, Akron is going to be at Chesapeake, Lake County will be at West Michigan, and Hill City has got the homestand with the 12-3 Hickory Crawdads. That's what's going down.
There it
Taven
is.
just hit the 2-hour mark, had about 50 people in here today, give or take. And if we want an update on the basketball, it looks like the Magic have stolen game 1.
Is it over yet?
It is over. Officially just went final. Despite 39 points from Cade Cunningham, the Orlando Magic come in there with every starter at least getting 16 points, and they down the Pistons 112-101.
Wow. And Les Habitants, Montreal takes down the Tampa Bay Lightning 4-3 in overtime of game 1 of their series.
Wow. Buffalo Sabres in action right now. We know we got the San Antonio Spurs, which, by the way, did you see the T-shirt layout over there in San Antonio?
I didn't.
After we get off the pit, go look at it because it is the colorful, like, canyon-esque type thing that
nice.
Utah used to do. It's sick. And if anybody decides not to wear their shirt, leave the building. Same thing with the Cavs. Be the C diff. If you know, you know. And it's time to let them know with Cleveland.
I think C. diff is a certain type of blood test they can run, the C. diff.
Maybe. I don't
it
know.
is. I'm pretty sure I see that in records.
I
Anyway,
don't know.
I digress. I'll let you go. We're going too long here.
Okay, well, thank you to about all of the 50 of you, give or take, that have tuned into this Sunday show. And the 13 of you watching right now, come right back here. We'll try to keep it the same time, 7 o'clock. Might vary a little bit because I will be in Columbus Sunday evening. But, hey, we'll let you guys know what's going down. Follow the Twitter. That's how follow the Twitter and Instagram. That's how we release when we are going live. Usually comes out Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, and then we go live that night. So, Taven, as usual, we'll have you send us out of here. Busy time in the world of sports. April, right up there with the time of October, where everything is psychotic.
Yeah. Like you said, well, we appreciate all 50 plus sticking with us tonight. Catch us back here. Same place, Baseball Banter Broadcast, Prospects of the Land. Next week, and we will see everybody then. Take care.